and welcome to Six Figure Signature Offers, the podcast for women in business who want to create brands that become the hot tamale of their industry and sold out scalable offers that bring home the bacon without burning them out. I'm your host, online business strategist Robin Birkin. I've gone from managing 8-figure marketing budgets and big teams to creating 2 multi-6-figure businesses in part-time hours by design. If you're ready to attract Cloud9 clients in droves, sell out your scalable offers, and not bring your laptop to the beach, then welcome, let's go. Hello, and welcome to episode 4 of my 4-part series on the ladies who are having $1 million launches this year to show you exactly what is possible and exactly what I see as someone who loves launching, who lives and breathes this, about how you too could increase the revenue into your business, restructure your programs, etc. And today, for the 4th episode, I'm actually going to be speaking about 4 people rolled into one episode. And I am going to call that the AI ladies. So I'm going to speak to 3 ladies in the AI space who have had really great launches this year. And those ladies are Gemma Bonham-Carter, Nikki Sweeney, and Callan Faulkner. And all 3 women run very different businesses, but they are all in the AI space. And so I'm going to speak a little bit to each of them, what I know of their launches. You can go and follow their profiles. I'll include the links below to be able to sort of like stalk them a little bit yourself. But these are some of the takeaways that I have from their recent launches. So a lot of these launches have happened almost like sort of about 2 months ago now. Gemma Bonham-Carter sold $500,000 or more of her launch. Nikki Sweeney had a $1.5 million launch, and Callan Faulkner, wait for it, had a $19 million launch. That blows my mind, and there have been some posts online that have spoken to that being one of the biggest female founder launches ever. And I love celebrating these women. So one of the reasons why I've sort of clumped them together, and also one of the reasons why I left this until the last episode in this series. So if you haven't listened to the other 3, go and listen to them. Everyone in my mastermind is like, oh my God, these are gold, and they're learning so many things and implementing them in their business as well. And our podcast downloads have gone through the roof on these episodes. But one of the reasons why I've clumped them all together is because I feel as though some of the narrative that is going around at the moment, especially with people who are established in business, is that if you want to succeed in 2026, it just has to be about AI. And one of the reasons why I've included 3 other niches before this is because I really want you to think that that is not the case. That said, all 3 of these women are known for this one thing. And of course, all 3 of these women caught a wave. So you really have to think it's exactly the same for Jessie Jean as well. What does my audience want to know? What do they want to learn? And sometimes I feel like there are a lot of people in the online business world who are trying to push shit uphill because you are trying to sell something that your market doesn't want. When you have an offer, the number one thing that will make or break your business, your offer, is trying to sell someone something that they are not willing to pay to solve. You have to solve one problem for a particular type of person at a particular point in time that is an urgent problem, it's painful for them in their lives, that they feel desperate to solve and desperate to pay, ideally, a premium to solve that problem. If your offer is not doing those things, if it's a problem that they're like this kind of sucks, but whatever, it is what it is, or if it's something that there is like priority number 5 down the list, you are not going to sell at the quantity that you want to sell at. And that doesn't mean you have to completely scrap your offer, but this is what people are talking about when they're talking about your positioning and your messaging for your offer. They are talking about the wrapper and the context in which you are selling your offer. So all three of these women had sort of like different messaging. Well, a lot of it is same, but different. And all three of these women sought to differentiate themselves in different ways and use different levers, but they are all leveraging the concept of a more easeful business with AI that can automate your life. And they've rode a wave because AI is topical right now. So speaking to their launches, if I look at all three of their launches and what they did really, really well, is you will have noticed that all three of them pivoted very quickly. So they were likely all gearing up to launch and sell programs that were all about ChatGPT. And then everything changed when the US government decided that they needed particular access and Claude said no. And then ChatGPT went behind their backs and said, well, we'll do it. And the context that not many people talk about is that Google, Facebook, Meta, they had already said, yeah, cool, have whatever you want. And Claude was the only one that said no. And then ChatGPT had publicly said, well, we don't support, like all of this access to things that could be used for this military context. And then behind their back said to the US government, oh, we'll just do it. So there was a mass exodus from ChatGPT to Claude. And all of these AI founders would have likely been gearing up to speak all about ChatGPT. And then at a very similar time, Claude started launching co-work and all of these other tools that made other connectors, such as make.com, somewhat irrelevant. And so all three of these founders very quickly had to pivot their messaging. And so if we had number one lesson, it's that sometimes you have to see where the market is at and what the market wants and needs. And all three of these founders ended up having lead magnets that spoke to how to set up Claude, how to migrate from Claude, for example. And that was very much what the market wanted. The other thing that you may have noticed across all three of these founders is that all three of them had webinars to sell their programs. Unless you have a very low priced offer, and by that I mean $197 or less, you are likely going to need some form of sales segue, be that a free challenge, be that a paid challenge or a paid masterclass or a paid workshop or a free webinar in order to sell your program. All three of these women had free webinars into their program, and Callan Faulkner also had before that a paid 3-day boot camp. So Gemma Bonham Carter launched some ads and then launched some organic marketing and then enrolled through her email list as well a number of people into a webinar and sold a program called AI All Stars, which is an online course. Some of the program was still to be created because of the sharp pivot that everyone made very quickly into Claude, and she sold $500,000. And I think from memory, she had more than 5,000 people registered for her webinar. But she has also for about 3 years run a summit called AI Unlocked that has become somewhat of a movement. If you have not heard about this, you have to have been living under a rock. So she's spent the last couple of years really refining that. She also, I think at the end of last year, retired what was a multiple six-figure offer of hers that she could have kept selling, but she knew that she wanted to really invest her energy into developing, maintaining, and supporting her clients through this AI program. And she knew that it was diluting her energy and her time and her focus and her expertise by not having AI All Stars as her one signature program. So she had a program called the Passive Project that she retired in order to go all in on her AI expertise. So then we look at Dr. Nikki Sweeney, and when I look at her launch, she also had more than 5,000 people registered for her webinar. And if you have a look at some of her content, you will have seen that she had like 800 to 900 comments through her ManyChat funnel. All three of these women also were using ManyChat funnels. In my view, it is absolutely essential to have a DM automation funnel running in your business. And by and large, the majority of us are all using ManyChat. So she had lead magnets and a variety, I believe, of lead magnets going into her business. She also ran a webinar. She recently did a webinar with her mentor, who is also my mentor, Ellie Swift, about the deep dive of her launch, but she didn't spend any money on advertising. And she ended up making $1.5 million in her launch and welcoming, I want to say, something like 800 people into her membership, mid-ticket membership called AI Impact Hub. So this is not a low ticket membership, like $47. This is in the 4-figure range. So you're looking at like $1,000 to $2,000. It has various tiers, etc. I think it also has an upgrade option to add team members into the AI Impact Hub. So that's something to really consider, is that they're not like, oh, anyone in your team can access this, but they're also not launching low ticket things. So AI All Stars, I want to say, is between $1,500 and $2,000. It's possibly even more now. Likewise, AI Impact Hub has increased their prices as well. So no one here is running a $200 program into an AI system. Then when we look at Callan Faulkner, the investment in her program, I believe, used to be about $7,000. And then for the May launch, it was a $9,000 offer with $1,500 to add on a team member. So when we look at the big numbers, if you listen to my podcast with Macy McNeely's online course is in that same vicinity. So you are likely pricing too low. If your mind is blown that people would be charging this level of price for a group coaching program or an online course, then go and scroll back through my podcasts, because I have one that says being accessible is killing your business. You need to listen to that because it will completely reframe exactly how you think about your pricing. If your audience has a problem, but they're desperate to pay a premium to solve, and you have a really great solution and you can showcase the value of that, you can absolutely charge those prices because the return on investment is there, it's demonstrated, and your Cloud9 clients can see that this is a premium solution that you offer. So then again, if I circle back to Nikki Sweeney and her recent launch, what you may also notice about Nikki Sweeney is that although she did not run ads, she was posting multiple times per day. And this may be quite uncomfortable for you to hear, but if you are not willing to post multiple times a day, I'm talking like 3 to 5 times per day, that's just the market that we are in right now, or you are unwilling to run ads, you are going to be growing very slowly. When we look at Callan Faulkner, she spent $1.5 million on ads. She was also list building all year round, versus Nikki Sweeney, who posts 3 times a day. I am seeing 2 camps at the moment. You are either doubling down on ads, or you are posting to your feed minimum once a day and then to trial reels 2, 3, 4, 5 times per day. It doesn't need to be hard. It can be very easy to post that level of quantity per day, but if you're not willing to put in the time, then you need to put in the money, right? So everything comes with a cost. It's either time and effort or it's financial. Choose your lane and then double down, or readjust your expectations and be prepared to grow slower. And that is also an okay path as well. But if we're talking about $1 million launches, that is just what's required in this market. Now, the other thing about Nikki is that she owned her position. She really sought to differentiate herself as amongst a sea of people who are sprouting Claude tools and services, etc. She doubled down on why me, and she would double down on like you have to be careful who you're trusting. Like, I'm a doctor, I'm someone who has studied data science and been involved in AI and coding, etc. for many years. And she also spoke a lot to security and ethics. So her business is all built around ethical use of AI. So she really doubled down on trying to differentiate herself in the market and speak to, like, you have to be really careful of who you're investing in and what you're buying, and just willy-nilly downloading all of these things from AI. You need to go to a trusted source. And then she also doubled down on the messaging that skills are not employees, and that when you leverage AI to its fullest potential, it is essentially like someone doing the work without your input, and that's what I teach. So she sought to differentiate herself in the market in those ways. You should also do the same. Jessie Jean did the same. She could have said, Talking Head Reels Academy. It would not have been the same. But she doubled down on her unique positioning, yapping to camera, which was all about like making it easy. It just feels like we're chatting to camera. We're going to make it easy. It's low tech, etc. Versus, you know, the talking head authority or the personal brand authority. She didn't go with that angle. So you should do the same. How are you not just a generic, like, this is about this topic, course, program, mastermind, and double down on the identity and the reasons why you are different from everyone else and every other program in the market. You should definitely be doing that. Then if we look at, for example, Callan Faulkner's launch, Callan Faulkner really dove deep into that easeful empire angle. You can have a very easeful multi-million dollar business running these big AI teams. And so her prices were justified because she was really targeting a more advanced echelon of the market. With, you could have these whole teams of AI employees working for you. A lot of her Instagram reels and things like that were all about, this is how I'm running. This is how I've just had $1 million launch, as an example. And this is how I'm scaling this year to $4.5 million. Now I'm on track for $20 million. She's now on track for $45 million. But it was very much all along that angle of, you know, how you can build these big empires with AI teams. What she also did was really leverage internal urgency in her launch. Internal urgency is essentially where you really are demonstrating to someone the cost of waiting. So everyone speaks about urgency as like doors closing and, you know, like buy now for this reason. But what is more powerful and more highly converting is internal urgency. There are multiple types of ways that we can leverage different types of urgency in our business. So one of them is external, one of them is internal, and there's several other ways as well. But internal urgency is where we speak to the cost of waiting. And so you will see there was one, I looked at one of her captions that said, every month that you delay learning AI, your competitor is banking 20 hours of additional work that you aren't. And so it's that cost of waiting, like every month you don't get this transformation is another month that whatever, like insert pain here. Let's say you are someone that has migraines. Every month that you don't know the root cause of your migraines is another month that you are missing days off work, experiencing pain that has you crippled in bed, etc., etc. So think to that when you're thinking of your marketing. And then she was very much speaking to like how I had a $1.1 million launch, how I'm on track to have a $4.5 million business. And so she launched with an effortless business bootcamp. It was $47. The time before, I think that she ran that something similar was $97 or $197. And she had 75 affiliates in that launch. And some of her affiliates, or many of her affiliates, were not just, you know, like Barbara who's taken her course. It was high level affiliates that had big audiences that she could leverage. Case in point, Natalie Ellis from Boss Babe was an affiliate for her. So Natalie Ellis has hundreds of thousands of followers in her business, and Boss Babe has more than 3 million followers, you will have also seen that Callan Faulkner got in the room. She, in the months prior, was showcasing herself with many other entrepreneurs. She had a peer mastermind getaway where they all tagged each other. And I don't know if you've seen this recently, but all of the top name big audience entrepreneurs are growing their audiences through collaboration right now. They are all getting in the rooms together. They are all commenting liberally on one another's posts. And so what I would encourage you to do is, number one, consider, are you in the room? Are you in a group coaching program? Are you in a mastermind? Are you in a peer mastermind? What events are you going to in person? Where are you being a villager? So there is a common phrase. It's one of my core mantras this year. If you want a village, be a villager. Where are you expecting other people to be commenting and sharing you and loving on you on social media and not doing the same thing? So create a list. Who are all the people who I want to build genuine relationships with, and how can I be more of a villager and be commenting liberally on their things, facilitating genuine, without wanting anything in return, conversations in the DMs? Where are you joining masterminds? And then being the type of person who liberally shares, holds conversations, shares what's winning, comments, like follows and comments on the people in your mastermind, right? Like, be a villager, because that is what all the top entrepreneurs are doing right now. And that is one of the things that Callan Faulkner was doing in the lead up to her launch. So you are all of a sudden, out of nowhere, seeing Callan Faulkner on this person's Instagram feed, on this person's Instagram feed. And then she's launched an affiliate program. In my opinion, affiliate launches are basically like their own launch that you're running alongside your main launch. They are very energy intensive, but if you want big numbers, go for it. But you are seeing her being tagged by all of these people everywhere. So all of a sudden, this is where people come out of nowhere, and then all of a sudden they're on all of the podcasts. All of a sudden they're appearing on everybody else's feeds. All of a sudden other people are promoting their things, and that's how they do it. So this are some of the secrets of how some of these ladies have had massive launches. And I'm just going to recap a little bit. Number one, all three of these women have sought to be known for this one thing: AI, easeful businesses, automating, having these AI employees. And they've all caught a wave. They've rode the wave of AI that is arguably a trending topic right now. Number two, they pivoted into a lot of Claude style messaging. And when a year ago everyone was using ChatGPT, all of a sudden everyone U-turned hard into Claude, and they therefore did that very quickly as well. Number three, they all leveraged ManyChat and chat automations. In my opinion, they're absolute gold for Instagram engagement. Number four, they gave people what they wanted. So they were showing people, this is how to set up Claude. This is how to do X, Y, Z in your business. They weren't talking about like, these are the back-end systems that I use in my business. They're like, these are the three most important, hires that I have in my business that take 28 hours off my plate. This is my exact setup for this topic. This is exactly what I do. Like, here's a walkthrough of exactly how you can do it. Number five, they put in the reps, right? They put in the reps to build the audience that they needed in order to facilitate the webinar attendees and challenge attendees that then delivered the conversions into their programs. So whether that is posting organically, if you don't have the funds to invest in ads, you need to put the effort in organically. And that might mean posting 3 to 5 times per day, like Nikki. It might mean hiring an affiliate team and spending $1.5 million on ads like Callan. Choose your lane, and then if you want those results, go for it. They owned a position. They all really looked at, okay, well, how do I speak to who I am, how I run my business, and why you should buy from me? They all used webinars, and I didn't mention this, they are all running very frequent webinars. Almost everyone in the market that is winning right now is number one, frequently launching, and number two, frequently running sales events into their programs, such as webinars. You should be doing the same. And the last one is they are not pricing for accessibility. They are pricing for return on investment and outcome/transformation. So that is the end of this series. Now, if you want an absolute plot twist, the next episode in this podcast is going to talk about the average journey and what you can do as an average business owner who is likely making $50,000 to $100,000, maybe a little bit more in their business, and who wants to grow to the next level, but doesn't necessarily at this stage want $1 million business, and what that average journey looks like. What does it look like for my regular clients, and exactly what we do in their business in the first 30 days, in the first 6 months, in the first 12 months to get them the results that create $20,000 to $35,000 months, whether that is like consistently or whether they have peaks and troughs because they are on more of a live launch cycle. So if that is of interest to you, make sure you're subscribed and listen to the next episode. And if you have any feedback about this 4-part series, if you want me to run another series on exactly how you can create $250,000 to $500,000 in your business, I'm all ears and my DMs are open. I cannot wait to speak to you soon. All right, bye for now.